Ooh, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the SEGA Nerdcast. This is episode 59, believe it or not. Well, what have we got going on today? Unfortunately, Chris can't make it with us today. He's got family stuff to attend to. But we do have quite an exciting show. Today we have Falco, Tyler and Patrick from the Elysian Shadows team, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who are about to launch their Kickstarter campaign on Friday, August the 1st. So welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, that's why we're half naked, because we've been up all night working on the Kickstarter. So that explains a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so sexy and seductive that I had to turn off my webcam because otherwise I would totally steal the show.
That's exactly it. He's our marketing strategy.
Yeah, like it's a stretch goal. See me half naked.
Man, and also with us we have Kopke, the lovely Kopke, who everyone should know by now. So,
hi everyone. Good afternoon.
No.
Night for Graham and afternoon for the rest of the guys.
Yeah. Well, let's start the show with our usual stick. I think what we've been up to. So, well, Chris, just to let everyone know, Chris is in the mountains with his family, so he hasn't got like stuff like internet or phone or anything. Camping away, killing bears or something. I'm not sure.
Probably eating them.
Okay, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I ordered some stuff at the SEGA Japan Eton store, and that got me pretty excited. I ordered a couple of stuff that I was wanting for a long time. The first thing I ordered is this amazing Puyo Puyo hoodie, which is really pretty. It has
Ooh, man, I want that.
a 20th logo, and it has carbuncle on the front, and also the fabric is really nice. It has like thermic stuff. Like, I wish the camera was able to show that with real justice, because the hoodie is really pretty. I really like that one. And I also ordered a couple of t-shirts that are really nice to wear. The first one is a Segata Sanshiro t-shirt, which is this one.
Oh, that is
Can you
nice.
see the whole design?
That is cool.
And here's the back of it.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
This cool swag is only available at the one 10G t-shirt, which is this one. The drawing is really cool. It has the logo on the sleeve. Let me show that to you. Cyber Troopers. That's one. And as an extra, the box had the SEGA official book from Tokyo Game Show, which is really nice. It has like a DVD for press and stuff. But the cool thing about this is that it comes signed by Nagoshi himself. So it has a marker and stuff. It was like a really neat surprise to have this as a gift I was expecting. The other thing is that our good friend Lee from Sega Nerds, who also has a Lupin site called Lupin Central, sent me a toy that I was like searching for like 20 years. He was able to help me tracking it down and sending it here to Mexico. It was the Tailspin Seaduck, which was the only one in the whole collection.
I have no idea what that is.
Pretty excited that I finally got it because it's a really
cool.
So it was a really traumatic. It was a traumatic story because I never had it. When I was young, I was like saving money to actually get it. So I went to San Antonio, Texas, and I asked my father to get to a Toys R Us to buy it, but he said no, we're gonna be late for the flight plane. So I was never able to buy it, and I was like frustrated because I was like never able to get it elsewhere. So Lee made a huge favor to me by helping me get it. So I'm really excited for that one. So that's pretty much my week, aside from work, obviously.
Wow, that's a pretty exciting week then. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys.
Yeah. I love this stuff.
Falco, let's go with you, buddy. Like, what have you been up to?
Being naked.
Other than being naked and looking
quit
damn
my
sexy.
Job. I quit my job and put my entire life on the line for an indie RPG. it was
Whoa.
originating on the Sega Dreamcast. I'm working all day and all night for a Kickstarter, just trying to get funding for it. So I don't have much of a life anymore. It's pretty much the same thing every day. It's like 4 guys in a little room waking up, coding all day and all night, doing our art thing, working on the Kickstarter. So.
Yeah, working until we can't stand anymore, go pass out for a couple hours, wake up, do a podcast.
And then we
Walk
show
into
up. We
food.
show up at IHOP every night at like 9 or
7,
10,
9,
eating
yeah.
breakfast.
Oh my god! Wow. So you quit you actually quit your job?
I did actually.
Yeah,
I did. It was right around the time our YouTube series really started taking off. We've got like 9,500 subs. It kind of started blowing up in the gaming community a bit. Watermelon reached out to us and offered us a publishing deal, and I just it just kind of seemed time for me because it was kind of rough. Like pretty much every weekend. Yeah, every weekend we weren't sleeping. We were just working on this project, and it felt great. You know, I was doing something I loved. We were kind of blowing up, and we were kind of indie game dev rock stars in the community. And then like every day on Monday, I'd go back to my engineering job where I'm nobody working for the man, depressed all week. I just decided, fuck this. I'm going all in and see what happens. So
wow! Oh my god! Well, that's
contribute
not
to our
reason for people to
Kickstarter,
back you,
or we'll,
guys.
yeah, or we'll be developing Elysian Shadows under a bridge. So
Fair enough. Man,
Yeah.
wow.
Were you able to save like some kind of money to be actually running the months between until the Kickstarter?
Actually, we had private investors invest in our project, which is it's kept us afloat from the time that I quit my job all the way, pretty much until the Kickstarter. It's been keeping us afloat. We actually bought some new equipment for the YouTube series, bought some new development equipment to help with like build process and stuff like that. It's actually been pretty cool. So yeah, it hasn't been that bad up to the Kickstarter. We're only now starting to live on like ramen noodles and stuff. But.
I think it's important to know that the guys at Falco is talking about, they don't exert any pressure on us, because whenever people, like especially in the indie community, whenever people are hearing investors, like everyone is like, you know, getting crazy. Oh my god, you're compromising your artistic vision.
Not us. I think our investors know that like we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do anyway.
Okay, we're the game devs and we know our shit, and we're actually very cost effective.
The guys who invested in us, they know that like in our own weird way we really know what we're doing, and we have creative freedom to keep doing our thing.
Like one of the ideas that I still try to convince Falco to is just to move to Poland, because living here is so much cheaper.
That'll never happen, man.
It's a lovely place.
I'm sure it is, man, but I'm a redneck from Alabama. I don't know that I'll fit in. I'll show up with my shotgun and...
Yeah, probably frowned upon.
As long as you hit Ruskis, you would fit right in.
Yeah.
I don't know. We brought Dan here. You know, it was one of the first things we did. We took him to like Gander Mountain and showed him all the firearms and everything here in Alabama. He was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, that was.
I saw the picture.
Dude, we imported Dan, who's our web guy and level design guy, and we imported Leandro, who's one of our pixel artists. Yeah, from Russia and England, and it's just been hilarious, man. We've been like living together, and poor Leandro, man, we're the front cover. We're the cover article of August 1st issue of Indie Game Magazine, right? So it's
Nice.
It's kind of a big deal, and like he gets off the plane, right? He's never been to America, doesn't know what to expect. He just watched our latest YouTube video, which I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty dramatic, like showing like the stress and stuff we're under. He gets off this plane, he's all worried. We're like, all right, man, no pressure, bro, but we need you to make the entire like cover art for this indie game magazine in 2 days. Have fun. Welcome to America. That poor guy, man, pixeled for like 20 hours straight in the room, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, he rose up to the challenge. But you know, to be honest, like he's like from Academy of Arts, and I think like before he joined the team, he was actually doing painting commissions and stuff like that. And that's essentially how you work as a painter. Like you get commission. Hey, so yeah, I need this portrait for like tomorrow, and you know, making portrait in oils is like 2 weeks, and you somehow have to make it. So yeah, welcome to the art world.
Right.
It's horrible.
That's just how the team operates. Like sometimes, you just have to skip sleep and get shit done when things like that arise, like a magazine cover or something.
Yeah. Wow. Blimey. God. Well, Patrick, what have you been up to?
Oh, it's been crazy here in Poland as well. Like on top
Better
of
have
being
just been
on,
pixeling.
yeah, making all the assets for the Kickstarter art and churning out assets so we can show as much for the Kickstarter. And it's just like the emotional ride, like it's the roller coaster, man. Like it's so stressful even before it starts, and then I don't even know how it's like I think I would have to buy like a crate of whiskey just to calm the nerves or something. Like get off the coffee because elevated blood pressure and stuff like that.
We're keeping track of all the teammates who've had panic attacks leading up to this Kickstarter. We're trying to see who the last one standing can be.
Yeah, there were already 2 mental breakdowns.
Yeah. I mean, it's like hilarious, but it's at the same time terrifying. It's like we have this really like fucked up sense of humor about it, but it's exciting, but it's terrifying. I don't know. It's weird. It's like nothing we've ever experienced before. I wake up some days and I'm like, this is amazing, man. We're going to be like incredible. Like everyone's like excited for this game, and then some days I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck?
What have I done with my life? I quit my career. What?
Yeah, like the episodes of Mania are the best. Like there are days when you wake up and you feel like the king of the world, that you can do everything. And you quite literally are doing everything. Like, just the amazing volume of work that you would think you would have to spend like a week on, you do in 4 hours. And then the next day you get a hit with like some sudden depression and realization that, you still might not make it or you're worthless and people will not like it. And oh my God, what's going to happen?
Jesus Christ, Patrick. That's why you have a panic attack, man.
Easy now, easy.
Wow. Oh my God.
They're like...
How many people are actually on your team in total?
Let's see, 7, right?
7.
So we have we can just go ahead and like kind of introduce the team then. I'm Falco. I'm the lead engine and tools developer, and I'm also like the main YouTube narcissist guy doing like the Adventures in Game Development series. Tyler,
Yeah, I'm Tyler Rogers. I'm the lead gameplay engineer. I make sure that the pixel art and everything that Falco creates is cohesive in our vision. So.
Cool.
Sorry, pixel art that Falco creates. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, pixel art and what Falco creates.
He just woke up.
And, I'm still drinking coffee,
like,
man.
The middleman between like my crazy coding and like the art. Like he's the guy who realizes like the actual gameplay. Who puts like the art, the music, and like the engine together to create like a cohesive product.
Yeah, sometimes I really feel sorry for Tyler because he's being essentially sandwiched between my giant ego and Falco's giant ego, and I'm like, dude, you have to make this pristine, and oh my God, like you have to make this boss the best animation in your life.
And I'm like, motherfucker, you already have 10 dynamic lights on the screen, man. What the fuck do you want from me?
Everyone's raging.
The whole time I'm just complaining about both of you, so it's fine.
And I'm Patrick Kowalik, and I'm one of the artists for Elysian Shadows. Yeah.
Awesome, brilliant.
That's cool. And then we have Dan, who is our resident narcoleptic. He's crashed on the couch right now. I couldn't bring myself away.
He was snoring when I went in there.
He's the web guy. He's also doing the layout for the Kickstarter page, and he's a level designer. And now he's been working as a scripter too. He's kind of like a red mage, jack of all trades for the team. And then
going back and making all my shit beautiful. Actually, I go through and make it mechanically work, and he's really got like the web and design sense for like colors and everything else.
Yeah, he really does have a good visual sense and design. So he's kind of our secret weapon there.
The great thing about web developers is that they're often very good with colors, like the color theory and color design. Because if you make a website, you need to make it like aesthetically pleasing and lead the eye, also with colors. He knows his shit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
And then there's Connor Linning, who is our resident rock star. He's our audio engineer. Leandro is our second artist who did the cover of IGM from St. Petersburg that I was talking about previously. And then Eddie is he's the guy that helped us move ES over to the Android platform, Ouya. And actually, last time he was here for a couple days, he just drove out like, I don't know, I guess he like had an extra spurt of inspiration, but we look over and the game was running on Google Glass, and then we were like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was really cool, man. We have like I put on Google Glass and I'm like, holy shit, that's like my engine. Like, yeah.
That is awesome. I didn't actually realize Google Glass could actually play like games.
I know, man. I know, man. And we're doing some serious like shader stuff. I mean, it was not amazing performance or anything, but I mean, when you consider like I didn't even intend the game to run on Google Glass. I wasn't even involved in any of that, you know, and I turned my head and there it is. It's actually kind of impressive.
What was the frame rate? Like 1 frame per minute?
No, it was actually like I can't believe it. It was pretty good. Like it looked about like the Ouya, man. Yeah, it ran pretty smoothly. I think it ran out of RAM after a minute or something, but
pretty quickly.
But no, it ran well. Like, yeah.
Dude, who knows? Maybe like Google Glass 2.0, and we got Elysian Shadows on it.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm now a believer, so it's possible.
Wow.
And then Google releases its Google Cars, and you get Elysian Shadows on Google Car.
Brilliant! Oh my god! Just partner with Google. Just make it happen.
Yeah, we just. Like I don't know if you've seen like the platforms we're launching on, but like we just love hardware. Like we will put ES. If your toaster had a little GPU in it, we would put ES on it. Like that's just we like playing with hardware, and I grew up like developing on the Dreamcast and tinkering with it. So like I'm getting my master's in computer engineering. So for me, like dicking around with hardware is like it's like a high for me. So I love it.
Because you're launching onto 7 platforms, is that right? You've got Windows, Mac, Linux, Dreamcast, iOS, Android, and Ouya, is that right?
Yes, with there's depending on the Kickstarter, we have stretch goals for the PS4, Wii U, Xbox One, 3DS, and PS Vita. It's basically just to help us secure a little bit of funding for dev kits, which we actually don't need that much because Watermelon's offered to help us out with that as far as resources go, because they are actually licensed developers for all of those. But yeah, we're pretty excited to bring ES to all the modern consoles too.
That's awesome. Wow, cool. Actually, very quickly, Tyler, we missed you out, buddy. Do you want to say what you've been doing this week, or?
Pretty much the same thing. This whole room and whiteboard walls and everything.
Whoa.
Like death march.
Yeah, man. The whole room is a whiteboard, and it looks like a bunch of crazy people.
That's because of crazy people.
Yeah, looks like one of those Batman comic panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a bit.
People think we're insane, man. They're probably right. I don't know. Just like energy drinks and beer cans all over that room and math all over the walls.
And every surface. No, we've been on this, like, I guess, death march with this Kickstarter. I mean, last couple of weeks between all the interviews and, like, the administrative stuff Falco and I have had to handle, plus just making sure that, like, our product and our vision is cohesive across, like, our website and Kickstarter and all of our social media and everything else, in addition to trying to actually script and code. So it's been intense, but it's enjoyable. I mean, I would much rather still be doing this than sitting at my desk job. So
yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like you guys are having a hell of a ride, man. It sounds exciting and awesome and slightly scary as well. Not sure.
Did you guys see what Patrick just posted on me? Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Twitter.
What is this?
I look like a sexy beast on Twitter now. That's hilarious, Patrick. I guess Patrick just drew my half-naked self on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That is amazing.
One of the perks of having artists on the team.
Yeah, that's Patrick, man. That's the art.
Okay,
that's the level of quality you can aspire to see in Elysian Shadows.
Oh god, please no.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Oh, it's not even. Oh, sorry. I was about to retweet it, but for some reason Twitter's just logged me out when I did that. That's annoying. Okay, here we go. So if anyone follows us and they want to see this very sexy picture, there we go, retweeted. Lovely.
That's like the final version of this is going to be a poster for Kickstarters involved. Like, you can hang your game dev god for inspiration or something.
Jeez.
Some people have posters of Emma Watson, other people have posters of like Gabe Newell or Linus Torvalds. You can have a Hulko.
Yeah, that should definitely be one of your stretch goals there, giving away that thing. Man. Cool.
Oh my god.
We should probably actually crack on with a proper interview. I mean, that was just a little taster for everybody, I guess.
yeah, really.
Appetizer.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so just for anyone who wasn't aware, we have had the Elysian Shadows team on the show before. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually there for it, but Chris and the guys they interviewed you, and I guess if anyone wants to actually check out the episodes, it's the 55th episode we did, which is on our website. But guys, just for anyone who's completely new to the game, who doesn't know who the hell you are or whatever, can you just give a brief explanation of what the game's about and stuff?
Yes, yeah. I'll start off with like the broad vision. Tyler talks more about the storyline. He's better than me at that. So, what Elysian Shadows is it began as an old school, very 16-bit influenced, kind of like Chrono Trigger Phantasy Star style RPG for the Sega Dreamcast exclusively. And we were developing this old school RPG, and as we were doing it, we found ourselves wanting to add things that weren't possible back in the day on like the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. We wanted to do things like add dynamic lighting, add shadows, add particle effects, add 3D cameras to the environment and stuff. And what we found is we were basically creating something that was like nothing at all like the traditional 16-bit RPGs. Well, stylistically, yeah, but we were creating something like that was completely new. So the project's kind of been rebranded as a next-gen 2D RPG, which I understand you're probably like, what the hell does that mean? And it's really us trying to take that old school formula and infuse add like modern rendering effects, 3D positional sound, and basically like take that formula itself to the next level and present it in a way that it's like modern and new, but at the same time like nostalgic and traditional. And it's been very experimental, but that's the basis for what the project is.
Yep.
Can you provide a brief synopsis on what the game is about?
Yeah.
And the story.
No, it's fine. Elysian Shadows is a game where you're really caught between the entire world is caught between this technology and magic. You've kind of got two sides. You've got like the more religious people who are I guess gifted and bestowed these magical powers and stuff upon their creator, while you have like the non-religious sects of society who are forced to rely upon technology in their everyday lives for survival. And the main character, Julian, is caught in the middle of all of this. At the very early beginning of the game, I guess again, let me preface this. Throughout the entire world of Elysian Shadows, in the world of Asphodel, there's actually just these ruins that are just kind of accepted. Just like on the edges of society, underneath mountains and deep jungles and stuff, there's just these ruins of these greater societies. They're known to be extremely dangerous. Both the creatures and the mechanical beings, and you just don't go there. And it's like heretic, like you just don't deal with that because that's technology and evil. But the main character is exploring one of these ruins early on in the game and finds a mysterious artifact that really begins to throw his understanding of how the world works on its head. And you find out a little bit more of the backstory about what's going on, and it becomes more or less your responsibility to try to save the world as you know it. So
right, and it really focuses on especially that artifact you find just further adds the tension between the conflict of magic and culture. Technology. And actually, our storyline, we've put so much time and energy into Elysian Shadows that we really wanted a storyline that reflected something deeper philosophically or had some kind of relevance or emotional connection to our players. So like it's very layered. On one level you can play the storyline and just appreciate this is a kind of Japanese RPG, westernized vision, just enjoy it for what it is. But for people who want to look deeper, it's very philosophically morally rooted in cultural struggles today. It was kind of inspired by like we are kind of at that point today where science and especially religion are conflicting with things like stem cell research and cloning and things like that. You really are to the point today where science is starting to
Blur the
deal with
lines.
blur the lines between like what was traditionally thought of as like this is a power reserved for God, like dealing, changing, modifying genes and things like that. Things that certain sects of society, religious people think that we should not be meddling in, and so that was something that we wanted to endow with the storyline of Elysian Shadows. That conflict is kind of there too. We really wanted to create like an emotionally engaging experience, and as part of that, we wanted the world to be, although it is this fantasy world, it very much parallels our own world in
Since
aspects like that.
Since we're on the topic of lore, I also wanted to say that we're really hell-bent on actually making everything logical, at least I am, because because of that we're writing a ton of lore, because you can often you're gonna have a lot of inconsistencies, like plot-induced stupidity of your opponents, or it's just magic so it works, and like the way magic works is precisely explained, bound by rules of physics, of that world's physics, but it's all available to player if you dig deep enough. Like one of the locations in the world is university, and you can go to library, or you can go to like other people's libraries or try to gain access to and just read about the war, and that will give you better understanding of what's actually happening. And it's relevant throughout, like from the game lore throughout the game mechanics. Like I will make sure to explain everything logical. If you dig deep enough, if you get yourself immersed in the world, nothing will sort of surprise you. As in, like, you will not get this kind of feeling like, how the fuck this guy can do this? Like, it doesn't make sense. No, like everything will make sense. And the side effect of having like such a robust and deep world is that it gives us even more leverage to create additional stories, and it makes storytelling really easy, because if you have very complete and very well written world, like for example the Warhammer's 40,000 words or D&D words, like they're very well crafted words that you can just create entire books on. And our goal is to make something similar with Elysian Shadows.
Fantastic. No, that sounds really awesome, actually.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. And I actually love the way you guys link the story with the mechanics of the game. So it sounds really nice.
That sounds really good. Just out of curiosity, how long are you anticipating like the gameplay roughly to be, or the storyline to last for?
We were kind of shooting for like the standard kind of like PlayStation 1 era 40 hours of main storyline, but we've also put so much time and effort into we're out of Gatorade, into the engine and all that. So we're very into side quests and like Easter eggs, and we want this to be a very non-linear experience. So we were thinking 40 for the main storyline and something more like up to 100 hours for all the side quests and stuff to really enjoy all of Elysian Shadows.
Yeah, and then also remember that we're living now in age of DLCs. And Falco, please mute your goddamn mic because you hear water.
Dude, I'm so thirsty.
That man needs a drink, damn it.
Because we built our engine from scratch, and we've built our tools. We have like fully working toolkit. Like making levels and making quests is like literally drag and drop. Modifying tile-sheets, like everything is so easy that making new area like from scratch without nothing, with no art assets, is like 2 weeks. Making entire area, like entire tile sheet, like as in art assets, then putting it into toolkit, scripting and elevating, making sure like fixing the pixel art, because we are humans, we make mistakes, and sometimes stuff needs to be fixed. And building everything, it's actually very fast process once we run the roll. So once we get the game founded, there is possibly no end to content if players choose to support us.
Right, and that actually leads into several of our stretch goals. Actually, like the DLC and the user-created content. Since we invested all this time, and that's basically what we've been doing up to this point. Up to like a couple months ago, we were focusing on developing specifically the technology to power this game, as in the engine and the level editor and tool suite to create like our vision, and run it on the Dreamcast and the Ouya and all these platforms. But I mean, we created it in a manner that the exact same things we're using to develop this game could be released to the public, and you could use this same stuff to create mods or even your own games with this engine and to expand the world of Elysian Shadows. So that's really where that stretch goal came from, that everyone's probably like, the fuck, these guys are insane. We already made these tools, guys. I mean, they already exist.
That's how we make our own games.
Okay,
It might sound like that we have insane goals. Yeah.
I have a question regarding the tool. Once that the game is released, or do you have any plans on releasing the engine so people can work in that engine and release their own games too? Do you have plans for it?
Yeah, that's a Kickstarter stretch goal. So the thing is that we would like to do that. There's a few things that we would have to do that just like to make sure it's like extremely user friendly. That it'll work on every platform 100% perfectly instead of just our development team. There's a little bit of extra polish involved with making sure it works fine for a group of 5 versus like releasing it to the masses, which is why it's a stretch goal, which is why we would need a little bit of extra funding and time. But it's nothing considerable, it's not like we're developing something brand new to do that, it's just like putting the final touches.
Obviously already works.
It's not a joke. Like up until recently, Toolkit was crashing when you were closing it. So there is that.
Oh no, actually, that was pretty recent. That's right. There was a bug pretty recently. Like it would just crash as you're exiting, and we're like, yeah, whatever. Well, it's completely stable. It is. It's like completely stable, but then you'd exit and it would crash. So
yeah.
Okay, looking forward to that. Hopefully it makes it. Now talking about the Kickstarter release, can you tell us about the stretch goals and the rewards that you're gonna be giving to people that contribute to this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. Let's start with rewards then, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to pull up the list on the forums here.
Yeah, so, God, man, it's so depressing how limiting the tiers are with, like, Kickstarter. I really had no idea how limited you were in how you're able to make these rewards. I was thinking it's like a shop, where we get to, like, just put up like all this awesome crap and you buy what you want, but it's not that easy. You have to like create all these tiers and stuff. So basically, like obviously there's digital copies of the game towards the bottom for all of the platforms that we're releasing on, which we'd also like to get Steam Greenlight support in on that. So like you can buy digital copies of for Windows, Linux, Mac, iOS, Droid, Ouya up front. After that, we start adding on some things like wallpapers, PDFs for the game manual. Going further than that, we've actually been keeping logs, basically like the entire team, because we have a big fan base on YouTube and a lot of people who are really into this project. So in addition to our design document, which is like this living, breathing document that is everything that is Elysian Shadows, all of our influences, descriptions of every area, every game that inspired us. I mean, this is a really cool document. There's like Ice Cap Zone Act 3 from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 we really liked, or Act 2 we really liked. We really liked this area or this aspect of this level, or like Final Fantasy 8 here, and it really shows you like where this all came from. So you can actually get that design document as a reward and see where that came from. And at the same time, like the artists are keeping
dev notebooks.
Yeah, we have all kinds of like concept art and pixel art that we'll be able to release to them as like the artistic side of that. And then at the same time, I know it's not as mainstream, but we actually do have a very strong community of game programmers and coding enthusiasts who follow us. So Tyler and I have also been keeping our own development notebooks relating to the code of Elysian Shadows and more of the technical aspects, like documenting, and it's kind of like become like a crazy, like almost schizophrenic diary of mine, like waking up, I'm working on the lighting equations, like working on the physics, like all of the math, all of like the software architecture in this like one crazy moleskin notebook that you'll be able to get like digital copies of. basically like you'll be able to see like the entire game from every aspect of the
You can
developers.
start at page 1 and see, you know, as these systems progress or as like the gameplay itself started getting more technical and everything, it just gets a little bit more crazy as time goes on.
Yeah.
But it is cohesive, and you can actually see like the formulas that we've implemented in the game.
That is actually a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah, thanks.
Crap, my notes are going to be released too. I need to remove all the dicks.
Oh god damn it, Patrick.
Like all of my sketches are like dick sketches or butts.
Keep them there, keep them there. That's what people want.
After that, on
content right there.
On the audio side of things, we have a very I'm actually very excited for our soundtrack, which will be released in the same vein that Pure Solar, you know, they had like their physical copy and a companion soundtrack. We'll also have that. And I don't know if you've heard the audio of Elysian Shadows, but it's very much creatively along the same vein as the art. Like, we're trying to take the pixel art medium to the next level with bump mapping and all this advanced shading. But we wanted to do the same marriage of old and new with the audio. So the background music of Elysian Shadows actually uses real hardware samples from the Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Wow.
But it infuses that with modern instruments, guitars, choirs, orchestras. It's really cool. Actually, our boss theme, oh my god, I can't quit bragging on this. Our boss theme is like my favorite song ever. It uses the, everyone knows the drum samples from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they're like famous drums. He sampled Metropolis Zone, and he made this really badass boss theme that sounds like very Sega Genesis-y, but at the same time it's like really rock infused with electronica and guitars, and that's kind of the creative direction of the soundtrack itself. So it's
I think this is sort of aesthetic that, you know, not a lot of people are exploring, because you have all those, like, you have shitload of projects that are going like, yeah, we're all retro, but they often limit themselves deliberately with the hardware limitations that were back then, and then they just don't think. They don't do their own thing.
I don't feel like they're innovating anything as far as the retro.
Yeah. Like one of the big things that I have hard on is like using normal maps and dynamic lighting with pixel art, because not a lot of artists are doing that. Not a lot of 2D games are using actually map mapping with 2D art. Like that's a 3D art tool which was developed for a reason, because, you know, when you have limited anyway, not getting into technicalities. But it's something that you can totally do with 2D art, and it makes it look so much better with dynamic lighting. And, you know, I just don't get why no one's doing this. Like, it's
hey, don't encourage them all to start doing it. That's hard.
Well, first you need to know how to, and I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. Like, how many indie games can build their own goddamn engine?
See that's also been something that's taken a while, and honestly, we've been a lot more self-conscious of it lately. If you go back and you look at the screenshots and the progression of Elysian Shadows as a project, like the initial screenshots, it's like, this just looks like an old school RPG, and then like it starts to be like, whoa, what the fuck? It starts to look like more modern, and you can see like this straight evolution of it was very clear to us that we knew where we wanted to take the game creatively, but actually like realizing that with like the technology and the art it's been kind of a challenge, because we're doing things that, you know, other games haven't done. We don't have like, there's not equations out there to do this kind of stuff in 2D. There's not really anything for reference. You know, it was me with like the OpenGL Super Bible and looking at 3D advanced rendering techniques from like GPU gems and stuff that are for 3D, you know, and trying to be like, okay, how can we use this for like pixel art in 2D, and like how can the artist work with this? And I think a lot of it was also the artists like trying to find out at the same time, you know, how do we work with this lighting engine? How do we, I don't know if you've seen it, but the world of Elysian Shadows actually is full 3D, technically, truly, like the engine.
Cool.
The engine is fairly 3D, so it's also been a challenge to us, and I know the artists hate it, is that they've had to learn how to create art that looks good in like a traditional 2D perspective and more of a complete 3D perspective. So it's been really I don't know. It's been a journey for us finding our way and really like being able to hone in on exactly the creative vision that we wanted to actually bring that to light. So that's kind of what's taken a while for the project.
Yeah, like that's another thing why our toolkit is a stretch goal, because like you might take a look at those developer screenshots, and even though they're very in development, even though they're very in development, like they look good, but if anyone else would try to take my tile sheets and like from the scratch build them up, like it's impossible. Like it's so easy to break shit and make it not look good.
Yeah.
Like even on a team, like not a lot of people are even like using my tile sheets because they just don't know how.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
See, and that's another reason that Kickstarter really is like the way to go for this project, is because like with our creative vision, it's not a simple matter of creating pixel art anymore for this world. It's really something much deeper, and that takes a lot more time and effort now to create this level of aesthetics that we wouldn't be able to do that with like full-time jobs and things like that.
It's like pixel art which was made in mind specifically for this particular rendering engine. Like if you would look at the map without lighting engine, it just looks hideous. It's horrible. But once you turn on all the lightings, like it just looks so much better. And if I wouldn't do that, it would look shitty with the lighting. So here you go. It's really a challenge to just make the art for Elysian Shadows. It's not as easy as people think.
The technical achievement looks really nice. It's congratulations, guys. It's really amazing. When I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this game looks really cool. Wish that a game like this was back in the day when I was like more into console gaming.
Right. I mean, that's what we've really been doing. Has been creating.
That's kind of what we want
to play. I mean, as a kid, if there was a game like this, sign me up. Like this would have been it. I mean, and I think that's kind of like the same vision that all these different team members really share. I mean, we come from different paths in life, or from different cultures and everything, but essentially we are all very much creating the same game we wish we had as a kid. And bringing in like all those different influences from games that were big in our younger lives. Like Connor, he's very, very big into survival horror. So almost all of his screenshots or his content in the game, he's even designing his own full area, and it's just terrifying. So
it's like you're walking with a little flashlight. Jeez, I'm not playing this. Like when I'm gonna play the Elysian Shadows, I'm going to skip this content. I hate horrors.
Yeah, see, we found it's really cool. So yeah, that's kind of a cool story. Our musician he started off in survival horror music, and he's very into survival horror games like Resident Evil and stuff. And so it turns out that like as we're developing this dynamic lighting engine, we're like, holy fuck! Like with this level of lights, we're able to do things in a 2D game with dynamic lights and torches. We're able to make scenes that are actually like fucking terrifying with pixel art, like. A completely black room, and like you're just sitting there with a torch, and there's enemies coming at you. Like we've actually found that Connor's been able to realize like a lot of his survival horror dreams and influences in Elysian Shadows, and it's been really exciting and rewarding for us to be a part of that, because I don't feel like that's something that any 2D RPG or any 2D game in general has really been able to explore, been able to get that kind of emotional feedback through lighting and effects like that.
Dude, I just had an idea. Like the masking that we have that you can do with lighting. Like imagine an enemy that you can see normally, but if you shine a light on it, like a flashlight, then it becomes invisible.
Oh, we've already thought of that.
Vice versa, you can only do certain enemies or certain entities with light.
Yeah, Tyler was already doing like he was gonna have like the area with like blood on the wall or something that you can't see unless you look at like a certain like flashlight. There's like
UV light.
Yeah.
Footsteps.
Scare the shit out of you.
Dude, and then you go into Julian's room with like UV light, and you see like lots of white glowing stuff.
Oh my God, Patrick, you went there.
We digress entirely from our rewards, by the way. Sorry. So going back
to destroy our reputation before it.
Oh yeah. So rewards. We were at the OST. So Watermelon's our publisher. So basically, like we are offering all of the same, trying to offer all of the same physical kind of rewards that they're offering. So physical editions and deluxe collector's editions of the Dreamcast and the PC releases will be available. We actually have like some of the really cool, ambitious stretch goals, like or not stretch rewards. They're like custom painted Dreamcasts with like the Elysian Shadows logo and all that kind of stuff that Watermelon offered that we think would be really cool. We also have like the rewards that a lot of games do, where you can create your own enemy or NPC to be in the game, and we've kind of taken that a little step further to where like we wanted to be a little cooler with it, to where you can create your own Easter eggs, or like if you contribute enough, you can actually create your own NPC house in Elysian Shadows and be like populated. Well, one of our buddies, Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, he's like, he wants to have a Sega CD in his room, So
Totally doable.
we'll sprite up a Sega CD yet. So
Pay extra 100, pay extra $1,000, and we'll even make it playable.
What does
the Sega CD?
That would be amazing, actually.
That would be pretty cool.
what does
I mean, it
the
wouldn't be
deluxe
hard, like, you just
edition include? Sorry. What does
I'm sorry.
Yes?
What does the Elysian Shadows Deluxe Edition include?
What does Pure Solar? What does it include?
The Elysian Shadows Deluxe Edition
The
release.
deluxe edition.
Do you know what Pure Solar's included for the deluxe edition? Wasn't it a poster and
like a poster?
It is
what
what
It was like
included
hard
the strategy
copy.
guide with that one.
I need to go look at exactly what it was, but it's the same packaging as what Pure Solar is doing for their deluxe edition. I need to go look at exactly.
Okay.
I know it sounds bad that I don't know that, but yeah, we need to.
And then also on topic of rewards, but like that's very maybe what I'm going to say, so don't pull my leg if it won't happen.
Oh God,
But,
what are you saying?
Ouch. I was going to say a mode of no, never mind. Essentially, for one of the areas, I wrote like a short story to help me to create the area. And right now, whenever I'm just too tired with pixel art, I'm actually drawing a comic about it. So we could probably make like a print of a comic, but we need to know the cost of the printing and stuff like that. So it's still not like official maybe, but it's like sort of like an origin story of this area. I think that would be really cool. Like have a story of expedition went in there first.
And
their deluxe edition included their guidebook, signed lithography, and I guess 3D printed or beautiful figurines.
That's right. Yeah, the strategy guide definitely comes with that, and that's also available too, the physical strategy guide. Another thing that we're doing is we're partnering up with Indie Game Mag, so at certain tiers you'll actually be able to get a digital version or a year subscription to Indie Game Mag, and the magazine article that we did where we are the cover story.
Okay,
That's
nice,
awesome.
thank you.
And I think it's also signed. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah, some of them are definitely signed rewards.
Some of them will be.
Like that's gonna kill my hand.
Well, we'd have to ship it all to
You wish you were that popular, Patrick. I hope you are.
Wasn't it like one tier which was like 1,000 and each of those
are
signed by all the team, like something like that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to ship them around the world to sign. Yeah.
I think it would be cheaper to just fly me and Dan and Liard and everyone to Alabama for like 1 week of signing shit.
Dan never goes home. Yeah, I think he likes it here in the Deep South.
Awesome. Actually, just sort of speaking about the whole Kickstarter. Well, we're talking about Kickstarter campaign. I guess it requires a really good marketing strategy to actually really get something going.
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, how are you guys tackling that, as it were?
That's a really good question. So it's kind of funny for us. Like most people think, just based on our personality and the way we present ourselves, that we don't know what the fuck we're doing. But contrary to popular belief, we actually do. We've spent a considerable amount of time researching other successful Kickstarters. I've read crowdsourcing and crowdfunding books actually before I quit my job. what we've been doing is we've been marketing very organically. We've been doing podcasts and interviews like this. We're most well known for our YouTube channel, which has 9,500 subscribers right now. We're really big there, and we've been promoting through YouTube. We're very well known on social networking sites, and we've just been organically approaching like all these indie gaming sites, SEGA news sites, Ouya sites. Just been trying to be very active in the community and promoting our game organically in that manner, not necessarily getting shown off by the Kotakus and stuff, because they don't really give a shit about you until they see that you're funded. You know, they're not going to give you the time of day. But you know, it's the retro gaming sites, it's the indie gaming sites, it's the people who actually take the time to look at your project and they go, oh damn, I actually understand what they're doing here. I see creatively what they're trying to accomplish. You know, and those are the guys that we interview with and we interact with, and those are the kind of like the core fan bases that we've been focusing on growing. And after that, we have kind of a secret weapon, an insider that it's going to be helping to market the campaign once it launches. But until then, we're just continuing to kind of do it, our way, kind of like touring rock stars. You know, we also give like lectures and talks at IGDA meetings and things like that. So we kind of know what we're doing a little bit. Not much.
Cool. And last time. Go for it.
Sorry.
Go for it. No, go for it.
Okay. The Retro Blogger UK wrote to us on YouTube channel and said, "Do you have any worries about Watermelon's involvement in Elysian Shadows with Pure Solar print runs? They had a habit of taking pre-order and then taking a year to actually deliver the game." So he asked that question.
So let me go ahead and say, Pure Solar for us and Watermelon, they're more than a publisher. Tulio himself, who's the president of Watermelon, drove down personally from Iowa
all the way to Alabama
a couple weeks ago to help us, like when we first quit our jobs, help show us like the ropes, show us what's involved in actually not just creating a game, but creating a sustainable company through like your games and your creative works and things like that. He's been very much a mentor and a friend, and we respect the shit out of him, first of all, and second of all, you know, their development process is not our development process. So our scheduling and things like that is not really dependent on them. Theirs is not really dependent on us. They're just manufacturing the physical discs, so you know, when we're done with the game, they'll be able to do that. And at the same time, on that vein, we have also seen and played Pure Solar HD, and it's looking good, and it is just about done. So I'll go ahead and say that for you. Leo brought that over, and I don't think he would mind me saying that it's just about done. So, and not to mention, like, those guys are so passionate, and the reason it's not been released yet is because they want to do a goddamn good job on it.
Yeah, he's very.
I fully believe that if it's not out yet, it's for a good reason. So, and
they really got a nice game there. So there you go, Retro Blogger. There's your answer. And now up to next question. Last time you were talking about the Ouya possible deal. So were there any in advance in that matter?
Yeah, so we're still very active in the Ouya scene. We're still targeting the Ouya. The engine is running on the Ouya. We're coming to the Ouya, and they've been backing us a bunch. We still haven't signed on for the Free the Games exclusivity deal. We're not sure about that yet, but we are absolutely coming to the Ouya, and we've been pushing really hard in that scene as well.
But if we do sign that, it doesn't affect Dreamcast. I think that's important to say.
Yeah,
It sounds like Ouya exclusivity, but it's what was that? Ouya, PC, Dreamcast.
Yeah, so we've been for the Free the Games fund. We've been offered. We've actually been. First of all, it hasn't been agreed on yet. So
yeah, again, it's just been
final. But when we talked to them, we specifically said, look, this game started off as a Dreamcast exclusive. We have a lot of Dreamcast fans. We would not be able to sign anything that would prevent Elysian Shadows from coming to the Dreamcast immediately. And actually, the Ouya guys were really cool about it. And
they were taking it back.
They literally are like, all right, fine. Like you can still like ship on the Dreamcast and the Ouya with like the exclusive deals. Like it was kind of cool of them to. Yeah, it was really kind of cool of those guys. So respect for that, totally. So if you hear us say Ouya exclusivity, that means nothing about the Dreamcast. Or the PC, actually, so that
Or
PC,
Linux.
Windows, Linux, Mac, and Dreamcast, like we've already been given the okay for all of those platforms. In
Okay.
addition to the
And those were
Ouya.
like those were all like the original platforms you intended, aren't they?
Exactly,
Yeah, they
yeah. So
are.
it's not much different
Yeah,
for us.
So it only means that no consoles for the time, just Ouya, right?
Yes.
If we decide to go with the deal, yes.
Yeah, if we decide, and that's 6 months only. If we
Okay.
decide.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, that's correct.
In fact, Retro Bloggers messaged us again saying, do you plan on including like a mini game on the VMU for the Dreamcast?
Oh.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that. Dude, we're so excited for this. All right, so this is a stretch goal that we want very desperately to do.
Yes.
So okay, we've known for a while, you don't want to make a Dreamcast RPG, and especially not one this ambitious without doing something for the VMU. It'd just be like, seriously, it's an integral part of the Dreamcast experience, to include something for the VMU. Otherwise, you're not. I don't feel like it's truly the whole Dreamcast package. So we thought of a way that we wanted to also include everyone else who doesn't have the Dreamcast in on this. So we have a stretch goal for we want to include an in-game kind of side parallel minigame aspect, kind of how Final Fantasy used to have their card game that you play along with the game. We wanted to include basically like a monster tamer minigame to where we'll allow your party members, we already have a job system in-game to where you can be like, mage, fighter, whatever. Well, there will be a job called Monster Tamer where you'll actually be able to capture and train the monsters that you're already fighting and interacting with and be able to summon them back into battle. It's Pokemon influence inspired. And along that vein, you'll be able to take those monsters that you're training and offload them to your VMU for kind of like a Chow Garden experience.
Holy crap.
And train them like that. And what we wanted to do is we're going to release this as an iPhone Android app bundled with a VMU emulator, so people who aren't playing on the Dreamcast can experience the Dreamcast and VMU in all of its emulated 8-bit glory on the smartphone.
That sounds pretty
I
awesome.
know you guys are like, this
definitely
is
want that.
fucking crazy, but
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard to do. We've already got everything.
Yeah, it's not. We already have, like, logistically, we have it all planned out, and that's something.
Dude, I can't wait to make
do.
assets for it. Like, that's gonna be so much fun.
Well, I mean, the cool thing is like all of the monster stats and everything else that this would involve already have to be created for the game anyway. There's no extra work as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. It's funny how like the gaming community is like, oh my god, these guys are like so ambitious. They don't know what they're talking about. And at the same time, since we're emulating the VMU on the smartphones, it's literally the exact same code that we were developing for the Dreamcast. So it's not like it's this huge extra endeavor. So. We have very much considered it logistically, and we're so excited that if we actually make it, that we can do that.
Oh, that's so good.
I hope to still have some blocks available on the VMUs to actually be saved.
I know. I don't know how big our save file is going to be yet either. I'm hoping it doesn't eat up an entire VMU, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, because some Sonic Adventure mini games that you were saving on those VMUs were like almost
they're huge.
all size of the VMUs.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe we'll just have to offer a special edition of Elysian Shadows VMU. I don't know.
It's like way bigger.
Oh, that would be nice. I would totally buy that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know how big the save file is going to be yet.
No, that's pretty nice. So, now you were talking about some of the development process that you envision the game in some way. So now that you are actually doing this in a further way, have some of that original vision has changed, or and what things has improved for the better?
Yeah. In some ways it's changed a lot. In some ways the original vision hasn't changed. Like it started off as like a very much a storyline concept, and our vision for the world itself and the storyline, it's actually remained pretty consistent throughout. The ruins, the overworld, the kind of vibes that we wanted. But what has changed is more of the technical side of the creativity. It didn't originally start off as next generation. It didn't originally start off as dynamic lighting. That was kind of something as we're developing this game. We just kept wanting to push the envelope that's the stuff that I feel like has really evolved, and I definitely feel like that's changed for the better. I think at first, when I was developing this game, I was kind of a little afraid to do that. I was kind of limiting myself by like an old school RPG, and then I don't know, I kind of was inspired mostly by Patrick bitching at me. Oh, dude, we need a lighting engine, man. Imagine if we had this lighting engine. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've been doing like mock-ups in Photoshop to cocktease him.
I
all the
know,
time.
and he's like baking in these lights that we totally can't do in the engine. I'm like, god damn it. So like,
I mean, look how good it looks. But to be fair, like I didn't even envision dynamic lighting. Like I was, or even like a normal mapping. I was saying, yeah, just like light entities that we can draw like a vector sphere that's faded with different blending modes, like overlay, hard light, stuff like that. No big deal. And then Falco went on like 2-week hiatus and emerged with like a full 3D game.
It was Christmas break, and like he saw about this dynamic lighting engine. I bought all these like math and lighting books. I spent like a couple days looking at YouTube, like researching other engines, trying to do this kind of thing, and I was like, all right, god damn it, if I'm actually gonna try to do dynamic lighting in a 2D game, like I want it to be the best, man. I really like that was. I kind of had my ego on the line.
If we're gonna spend time,
I was looking at every engine. I was like, if I'm really gonna do this, I want to be able to do things that other games weren't able to do.
Dude, I remember you bitching.
That was my Christmas break.
I remember you bitching at like trigonometric transformations to make the orthographic perspective work, and I remember like
bitch about that.
Yeah, I remember you being off by like a couple of pixels, and like that didn't bother me, but in the end you just got mad and
obsessed about it. Like, I mean, and that's where we all are in like our respective departments. I mean, we're very, very, I guess, like again, like detail oriented down to this. Like, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent like just tweaking like little animations or colors and like offsets of like this and that to make everything just perfect. Like, and I know Connor's the same way, and.
Very much like our souls and really our egos are in this game. This is me, man. This like when I work on Elysian Shadows, when I see it, I want people to approve of it. I want them to see this and see the same kind of thing that I'm doing. Because I'm pouring so much of like my life and my creative vision in this. Like it needs to be accepted by them. I feel like it's an extension of our egos. I feel like. I know it sounds narcissistic, but I don't know.
I mean, come on, at this point you're sort of at this point you're talking like an artist, like contemporary artist.
God.
Like, you're an artist.
I'm just kidding.
Nice. Oh man, yeah, it does. Well, for everything you guys have just explained and stuff, it does sound like you just said, you're basically pouring your heart and soul into this game, and like. I'm really hoping the game's going to be successful because it looks amazing. And if it is successful, where do you guys like see like the future of the studio? Like, are you going to keep making more games based on this this franchise, as it were, or would you look at making other games, like keeping yourselves together, keeping the team together, or what would you have plans for the future, really?
One thing about Elysian Shadows is that every time we've come up with another idea for like another game or another gameplay mode or something like that, we've been able to incorporate it so far into Elysian Shadows. So like, oh hey, we want to have like this really cool, like I don't know, Galactica like mini game or something like that, and like put it in the game. Why not? Why not have that already in Elysian Shadows too? So like, I guess we haven't.
That's kind of what's always kept us motivated too.
Beyond Elysian Shadows in that sense, because I can't begin to think about what comes after that until I'm done with this one. But because we're able to do like the DLC even for like systems like the Dreamcast. And things like that. I mean, I think that we'll probably still continue to publish other episodes or other, I guess, expansions or additional content, new dungeons and things like that, as well as kind of really seeing how the community reacts with like the player-hosted content and stuff like that. Just see how big it, I guess, kind of becomes. I mean, if people really want that and they want more content, absolutely. And we just go from there. I mean,
right. I will say one thing also, as far as the team goes, like I don't really see us breaking up after like ES or after like I'm gonna go ahead and say like when I quit my job, I gave up my social life for Elysian Shadows. Like, you motherfuckers are the only friends I have left. Like we have been through so fucking much together. We're more like a band of brothers at this point, and like everyone else who
Truly.
like either did not share like our passion or our creativity, like we scared them off the team long ago. So like we're left with like this core team of like
hardcore crazy
now.
Yeah.
And, like we're talking together all day, like every day on Skype, like working our asses off for this Kickstarter, like really just like sharing the bittersweet misery together that is this crunch time. So
I mean, it's like it all like we all influence each other, and the person you are, it's very much dependent on the person or the people that you're surrounded with. Like I've become so bitter recently about other people because I have like people talking, and like I have guys like coming and bitching about politics in Poland, and but they never do anything with their lives. They're working their shitty jobs in supermarkets, doing nothing with their lives, and they're only bitching. And then on the other hand of the spectrum, I have like Falco randomly popping up on our team chat and saying, so yeah, now we can support 32 dynamic lights in the scene. Not a big deal.
That happened? Hang on.
you can, just the frame rate won't be that good.
Oh man,
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Cool. I've actually got another random question, which is actually more of on a personal level for me. It's something actually, but I wanted to answer genuinely, and it's basically I'm like the resident Microsoft fanboy at SEGA Nerd. I love all consoles and stuff, but I seem to love like I've got a Windows phone. I actually like Windows 8. But there's actually very few development studios that backing like the Windows Phone store and the Windows 8 store, even though there are some studios actually like Rockstar Games backs it, Disney does, and Gameloft do and stuff. But it's like, did you guys ever consider like the Windows Phone store or?
We did actually. We did. So yeah. So one of the things that's allowed us to target so many goddamn platforms is when we initially set off to create like this ambitious engine, we spent some extra time developing this kind of like this library that allows us to easily move the engine between platforms and allows us to run the same code on every platform. So that's kind of the approach we took with the Android and Ouya. Tyler and I here were working on the main engine and creating like the game of Elysian Shadows, but in parallel, Eddie was implementing a version of this library for the Ouya, which basically like moved the entire engine over to the Ouya, and that's also how it worked on the Google Glass without us ever doing that, So since we invested all that time and energy into that, like we really want to bring ES to literally every platform we can get our hands on. So like the Windows Phone is something that we've discussed, and even if like we are focused on working on the game itself, that is not to say that other developers could not come in like in parallel, or that Eddie could not be the one to put it on the Windows Phone with us. So yeah, we definitely Windows Phone is
possibility.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Like
there.
It's pretty interesting because currently the behemoth within the game engine scene, in terms of like the platforms that you can publish in, is the Unity engine. Like Unity can publish on pretty much anything, but it's not everything. It's like just a lot, like compared to CryEngine or Unreal Engine. But
we're definitely not going to get the Dreamcast with it.
We're beating that. So we already can publish to more things, and we can do pretty much the same things as far as I know. So
activity-wise, yeah.
Well, it'd be awesome to see that game like on the Windows 8 store and Windows Phone, because that'd just be, well, for me it'd be awesome anyway. I don't know anyone else who cares about it.
No, it'd be awesome for me, man.
Dude, I personally, I just wanted it on my tablet.
So what was that, Patrick?
I just want it on my tablet because there are no good and not good, but there are all of the games on mobiles. They're like very short, like the toilet gaming. I hate it. I want to have a meaningful, complicated core gaming experience on my goddamn tablet.
What is your tablet, Patrick?
Nexus 7.
Oh yeah, you're fine. It already runs on that motherfucker.
Yeah. But I love playing games on my Surface, and the best thing about the Surface is you can plug in an Xbox controller and just like play a game properly, like it's meant to be played.
Yeah.
I just love so like having something like this on that with an Xbox controller. I'd be so happy.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I will look forward to the space, and hopefully it will happen. But we'll see, I guess, because you are, as you guys have said, you're putting onto a hell of a lot of systems already, so it's pretty impressive.
Right.
Man, cool. Do you know what? I think we're actually sort of done with the main interview, to be honest. Is there anything else you guys would actually like to add or mention to anyone out there about the game?
No, just that keep in mind our Kickstarter is launching on August 1st. Also, if you're interested on YouTube, Adventures in Game Development is really where you get to see like the heart and soul of Elysian Shadows. You get to see like
The behind the scenes
up
crazy.
all night looking like shit, chugging coffee just to make you guys this game out of toilet paper in the house and all of the hell that we go through doing this. So
The struggle is real.
and it is slightly, maybe a little more than slightly, sometimes slightly, educational in the sense that you really do get to see behind the scenes for every aspect, like art, music, level design, even like we go into some of the code and stuff like that. So.
Yeah,
I mean, we show
significant amount of
crashes,
Kickstarter
the successes. So a lot of people don't show the failures of while it's working.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
every so often, like I'll do something and I'm like, this makes no sense. I don't know how any of this is even working. And Falco will grab the camera and he's like, this has got to go on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
so,
I think that's one of the best things about it. It's for anyone who's interested in indie development or just game development at all. Just these videos, they as you say, they show the success and the failures, as it were, and like the confusing bits, is really. So I think it's a bit of an eye opener for anyone interested in that. And
But it's funny too because people so fundamentally do not understand what it takes to make a game. They think that like there's a lot of people out there who think just because we're willing and like just because we show the failures of this project that like we suck as developers. It's hilarious to me that like, oh wow, like their engine keeps crashing, like they don't know what they're doing. Like I don't think you
have
understand
no
at all
idea.
what it takes to make a game if that is how you think. Then like you are the people who need to watch Adventures in Game Development because we want to open your eyes to this is how you make a game. This is the struggle is real. This is what really happens. You know, it's not just oh, you run the engine and everything is great. Like exactly the code you typed in works. Yeah, fucking right.
Nah, that doesn't happen. Never happens. Even the bigger teams have a struggle with those things, so people have to realize that. And I actually watched a couple of episodes before this show, and they're actually pretty fun and really educational in terms of how the process of game development is done. So I actually recommend that too.
Yeah.
And we've really been going in a new direction too. It's kind of exciting to me because you have to understand we weren't as big as we are now before. So like it wasn't as easy for us to like be as real with the audience and show like you know the stress, the engine not working and stuff. But like now that we're bigger and people understand what we're trying to do. They understand, like, you know, that we don't suck at what we do. They see, like, the technical merit of the engine. They see us, like, giving lectures at game development shows. You know, like, our egos aren't on the line anymore. We're able to now be, like, completely real with the audience, like, show them the failures, the successes. You know, we don't even worry about it anymore. It's just, like, complete sincerity now. I think that's why we have fun doing it now.
I think that a lot of this attitude of like no show within gaming industry comes like from insecurity and like from lack of belief in oneself. And you know, right now we have such ginormous egos that we just don't give a fuck. So
I know. Yeah, we really are. Yeah, it takes.
Well, we were able to just really like if you look at the older videos, they were really technical as far as like editing and presentation and stuff like that. But like more recently, it's raw footage. The only editing that we do is we just piece the parts of it together and cut out the slower bits or the unrelevant ones, or at least put the content in cohesive order so it does tell a good story. Like
we don't even worry about that anymore. It's what we're trying to do is something real, something true. Like we don't have to try to dress it up glamorously anymore. You know, like this is how it is.
I ain't got time for that. I'm trying to make a game.
I know, yeah, and that's also why if you look at our videos, we disappeared from YouTube for like 2 years because it got to the point where like we were stressing out about these fucking videos and like we're game developers, you know, we aren't like rock stars, we aren't like actors, you know, why are we stressing out about these goddamn videos?
Dude, Connor is totally a fucking rock star.
Well, he is.
But that's when like we really reassessed like the goal with the videos and really like fundamentally changed our formula and like now it's fun to do them again. I really missed like actually enjoying getting on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's
they're an exciting part of our daily routines again. So.
Yeah. Awesome. I've actually just very quickly got another question from retroblogger.co.uk, and they ask, or he asks, or she asks even, if you had to hand the game development over to another developer, past or present, who would it be, and who do you think would have done it justice, as it were? So say if you guys were just like, fuck this game, yeah, you SEGA, you take it or something. Like who?
Damn, that's a really good question.
I don't know.
I'd almost say I would take it to my grave with me because I don't think anybody else could make the game that I want.
That's a good question.
Uh,
You know,
I don't know anyone.
This is gonna sound really fucking weird, but I think I'd give it to Naughty Dog.
Oh, good shout.
Whoa.
I know this sounds
Yeah, I
weird.
can see that.
You know, you would think like Square or Sega, but to be honest, like I'm not as much of a fan of their recent work. Whereas, like, I really think Naughty Dog at this current state in time and right now, they've created so many games that have actually influenced me in Elysian Shadows, like Uncharted, Last of Us. Like, I truly think that right now where they are, like as a studio, like, I think that creatively they're in a good place, and I think they kick ass. Like, I think they would do it justice.
Yeah, I think I know. Like, even though it's not my decision, it's like Falco's decision ultimately. But what I will do is that the only way to make me quit this project will be probably just a constant stream of hate from everyone. Like, you know, my teammates would have to hate on me, and the audience would have to hate on me. So, you know, in the last act of vile and hatred, just to perpetuate the spiral, I would give Elysian Shadows to Electronic Arts, just to shit on everyone that was hating on me, and then enjoy your 5,000 DLCs.
Oh god.
Dude,
That happened.
Patrick
I'm crying.
Patrick is always like this. This isn't.
Yeah, this is crazy motherfucker.
Well, we can't be all serious, can we?
Tyler, have you got a preference at all, or?
I guess I agree with the Naughty Dog vision. I mean,
Activision.
there's no Naughty Dog, the vision of Naughty Dog, not Activision. God no. No, I mean I used to be really big with like Blizzard and stuff way back in the day, but they've changed so much in their own creative vision. Square Enix has changed significantly. They recently lost their CTO and project manager.
Another one that I would have said Square Enix a few years ago, but
I mean, they released this amazing technical demo of like Agini's philosophy or whatever, showing like the new Final Fantasy 15 or whatever, like last year. They lost their CTO and the project manager from that. Like, I have no idea where they're going. The guy that helped originally design Bravely Default, which has been like the only game that I've played for like the last 6 months, gone. So I don't know.
And like, we grew up playing and loving Final Fantasy. I mean, oh my God, Final Fantasy 6 and 9, like, so much creative influence on Elysian Shadows. Like, I can't believe that I'm not saying Square Enix for who I'd give it to, but no, absolutely not. Stay the fuck away.
I mean, I don't know. For me, it's hard because again, like there's so much that I would have to have exactly. I pull from all these like little companies. Like Legends of Dragoon was one of my favorite games growing up, you know. But I don't think I could hand the game to Sony either. Like, I'd probably take it to my grave. I don't know if I can even answer that question. Like,
how about a company like Tri-Ace, who are very well known for RPGs exclusively, really?
I think they're awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean Atlas even, but I don't know if their like creative direction would even be. I guess kind of what we wanted. I guess we are way more Western and Rockstar like.
Tyler,
basically,
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Basically,
Dude,
basically, that's what we're saying. You guys who can really do this. That sounds a bit.
Guys, what about CD Projekt Red? The guys that made Witcher.
Okay, yeah, that's
they
right.
could handle the story and aesthetic.
I would. I think they would get the creative part right. Absolutely, CD Projekt Red would.
Yeah. Ah, wow. There you go. There you go, Retro Blogger. You had your questions answered there, by the looks of it, which is
nice overview of the development scene.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much wraps up the actual interview bit. You guys happy to stay around for a bit longer for the rest of the show, or we'll try and make this?
Probably need to go get a shower myself, man.
Yeah, that's good.
I can stay.
Are you? Okay, well, Tyler, I gotta help Tyler with some stuff. All right, Patrick, you stay there.
I mean, I can stay if you don't mind me derailing all the podcast all the time.
That's fine. The show's probably not going to go much longer. We've only got a few bits of news, and then we're pretty much going to wrap up. So feel free to leave or go. We're easy, basically.
Sure.
Up to you guys.
Okay, sorry. Tyler and I will head out, but I promise it's for a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally going to shower and get back to work on this Kickstarter.
I can believe that. Don't worry.
Patrick, please don't cost us Kickstarter.
Yeah, totally.
The game will be sold by EA by the end of the show. Don't worry.
It was on Facebook and like,
He's already leaked the whole storyline, like released the source code.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, his password to our gate and stuff.
God damn it.
well, shit, if they know how to use Git, then yeah.
Alright, guys. Thanks for having us, guys. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming on the show, guys. And
Alright.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, you too, guys. And get back to the grind. Cool. Right, yeah. So let's get on with the show, I guess. So here we go.
Sure.
So news desk. As I just mentioned, there's actually not a huge amount of news going on in the Sega world. One thing, Sega's released some box art and new secondary characters for Sonic Boom that they've revealed the other day. And I can't seem to share my screen. This is really annoying. I hate Google+. Cupcake, can you share the screen at all? Or?
No, I'm actually on a computer that doesn't have enough RAM.
When you press the share screen button, then you have to choose the source, and sometimes the window pops under your browser, so you sort of need to confirm it.
For some reason, my Google+ never likes me, so it's not.
But we can describe them.
Okay, let's. Cupcake, you describe them for us.
Could I share screen? I could totally share screen if you want.
Okay, actually, if I could send you the link, I'll put it in the chats. There you go.
Sure.
It's on our Facebook page. We've posted these out. These are the secondary characters for the game. Sonic Boom.
There are a huge lot of them.
Does it work? Oh yeah, it works. Okay, sweet.
Okay, it's not showing. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Zoom in maybe. Oh yeah, the production value.
Yeah. So that's basically all we need to show you there. And
I love the design.
it's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool.
Though I'm always wary of concept art because concept art is implementation of like how it's gonna look in the game. Often it's not even like indicative of how it's gonna look in the game. Like imagine if they would make Sonic as in like in this retro Sonic 2 pixel art that they used to. Like how are you going to make this character look? Or even in 3D. So I would prefer to see something in game actually.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, actually, it's actually gonna change, and some of those characters are just for the show, and others just for the game. And so it's kind of a mix of both things. So we're gonna see how they look in reality until the game is released, which is around October, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. Can't remember the dates actually,
Yeah.
but there's the box art as well there for you, the new box art for the Wii U, and then on the right is the 3DS version Shattered Crystal. But I think the box art looks pretty cool actually. It's
Yeah. It looks like kind of old school '90s layouts on Sonic games, so it actually looks pretty cool. I like that.
yeah,
And actually, I love the Wii U one. The Wii U box art looks pretty rad. So congratulations on.
well done Sega, you
Stephen
don't
Frost
suck.
looks
Man, cool. And some slightly exciting news, I guess, for anyone who's really excited for the new Alien Isolation game. Essentially, it looks like it could potentially see sales boosted because. Oh crap! I just lost the link now. Because Dragon Age Inquisition has been delayed now, which was originally going to release on the same day as Alien Isolation, which is October the 7th. It's now actually been pushed back to November the 20th. Oh yeah, November the 18th in North America and November the 21st in Europe. So essentially, one of the biggest rivals for Alien Isolation isn't going to be out on the same day, which is really good. But there's still, unfortunately, going to be Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, NBA 2K15, and Batman: Arkham Knight, which will go and release the following week after Alien Isolation. So there's still a bit of heavy competition.
That is gonna be that The toughest competition, right? The Batman game is gonna be
damn
like
it.
affecting some
I
of the stage.
I don't know, guys. Are you still getting excited about
Damn you,
video
Warner.
release days? Like nowadays, I very rarely. I don't remember last time when I bought game on release. To be honest, like it's all now Steam and Steam sites.
Yeah. True.
Especially that
Yeah.
when the game launches these days, like it's so loaded with DLC that it's not even worth to buy it on the launch. It's better to wait for like game of the year edition or whatever when you get all the goddamn content that they cut previously anyway.
Yeah, although
Yeah, buy the
lots
Batman
of
game later. Just buy Alien Isolation when it launches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for Alien.
I'm sorry for killing the hype, but you know.
Fair point. It's fair point.
Yeah. The hype killer.
And for anyone interested, the Sega Saturn Hard Girl figure is actually I'll send you the link here, Patrick. If that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you can share that with the world too.
Totally.
They're gonna appear. Yeah, that. Oh, 1 second. I'll just go click on your box. There we go. Yeah, it's got the Sega Saturn Hard Girl figurine is selling at One Fest this weekend and there's only 400 items of it left, or there's only going to be 400, so it's quite kind of rare. So if that's get on it if that's what you're into, basically.
Yeah, it is actually expensive right now because people are like actioning it at Japan. Some of are already doing it, and it's about $200 already. So the price is pretty pricey because the original price of this was about $50, and now it's rising up like skyrocket. And it's really hard.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Oh, drops from the call. I cannot wait for like more relevant 3D printing. Like imagine if 3D printing could be like a lot more popular than it is nowadays. Like printing this sort of figurine, not a big deal. I guess like painting, but then again, maybe you could maybe there could be like rise of industry of like guys that would hand paint them for cheap. Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy like $300 figurine, which the cost of production is like $5.
It's true, yeah. Cause I love these figurines and stuff. I would never buy one though at the price they normally go up for. It's kind of ridiculous. I think they look amazing. I think what goes behind them, like the talent to make them, is brilliant. But I can't afford that.
And then, if you think about it, it's all based on 3D model, which it's very easy to make to modify 3D model because you just rig the joints and stuff like that, and you can make a doll out of it. So imagine, dude, think about that. You go on the website, and it presents you with like a 3D model that you can modify, so you can put arms like you want, like in whatever pose you want.
Oh, yeah.
Then you order it, and then they print it for you, and then they send it to you. That would be so cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So individual, and then maybe like with add-on accessories, so you could maybe modify, change her guns to some other ones, like different weapons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea. Oh my god.
We're living the future, man.
Yeah, man. And when you get those Elysian Shadows toys and like figurines out, that'll be good. That'll be the day.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder because I'm not sure yet about the delivery date because it's still not set completely in stone. We definitely don't want to announce one and then don't deliver. So don't quote me on that. But let's say it will take like a year or a year and a half. I wonder how much technology would progress throughout the time because the cost of the cost of 3D printing is getting cheaper and cheaper. I think you can order something 3D printed for, I think it was like $5 for a couple set of Legos that the guy did. Like he was missing a couple of pieces, and you could make yourself custom Legos, send the models to the 3D printing company, and they would print them for you for like $5 something. I think it was actually even in England, so it would be £5.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It would require research. That's a cool idea. No, true. To be fair, that would require me to get a little bit better 3D modeling because right now I'm decent, but I would definitely need to put a lot more time to make really good 3D models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, moving on to the last bit of news, it's actually community news, which we're really excited about. It's if it's okay, Patrick, I'm going to send you another link here.
Totally.
It's okay. Essentially, for anyone does know, one of the co-founders of Summer of Sonic, Adam Tuff, who we had on the show a few weeks ago with the rest of the team. Essentially, Summer of Sonic's not happening this year, but he and a group of other people, which are just two editors of the Sonic the Comic magazine, original comic book, sorry, they are starting something called Sonic the Comic Con this year, and they've started a Kickstarter campaign, which has already broken its target. It's got 19 days left to go on it. It had a target of £1,400, which was really just to hire the venue and get things set up, really, because it costs a lot to do it, as we spoke to the guys about who did Summer of Sonic. But it's raised more than £2,000 already, £2,250 at the moment. Still got 19 days left to go, and it looks like it's going to be really fun, because essentially it's a show that's going to be all about the Sonic the Comic. Sorry, trying to rephrase it. The Sonic the Comic book. That's what the whole event's about. So, but I guess it's all for the Sonic fans as well. So, if you're into Sonic and you enjoyed Summer of Sonic, then this could be the event for you. And yeah, it looks like it's going to go ahead now because it's hit its target, and I'm really excited for it. And we're hoping here at SEGA Nerds to actually get hopefully 1 or 2 tickets that we can give away at some point. So we're in the process of speaking with the organisers. Even if it means I'm going to have to pay money and make a pledge myself, which I'm happy to do, we're hopefully going to get a couple of tickets sorted out for some lucky guys or girls. So really excited about this. I'm not sure. I'm trying to work out if they've actually said when it's going to be.
I got another news. Is that Crush 40, the band that makes the soundtracks for the Sonic games, is going to be giving a concert here at Mexico in October. So people who live in Latin America are going to be watching for the first time this band over here, so it's pretty amazing, and we're definitely gonna cover that concert, so be wary of that.
Awesome, that's fantastic. Awesome. Just let people know for the Sonic the Comic Con, it is actually like Summer of Sonic. It's still a UK-based event. It's going to be held in York. They've confirmed the venue they were going to have it at. They haven't confirmed dates yet, though. It's going to be held in York. And has it got the actual address? Oh, Merchant Adventurers Hall is where it's going to be at. And they've got a picture of it on the show. And if you do pledge to Kickstarter, there's opportunities to get T-shirts. And there's actually some signed stuff as well, which looks really awesome. Yeah. And they've got it's also co-founded by the the two editors-in-chief of Sonic the Comic, which is awesome, really. I actually think that wraps up all the news for today, really, because as I say, there wasn't actually much.
Yeah, there weren't much.
It wasn't much, and it wasn't that exciting, but we are excited for a couple of those things. Should we just very quickly finish off the show with what we've been playing, do you reckon, Kopke?
Yeah, sure. I haven't been playing that much. I only been playing Ikaruga on Steam. I really like that shooter, Ikaruga. The shoot 'em up, the one from Treasure, and I really love that game. I was playing it with my brother on 2-player mode, and I love that game. I just have no other words of describing how much I enjoy it.
When you say on Steam, you mean on Dreamcast, yeah?
No, I actually have both copies. I have the Dreamcast one, which was very expensive when I got it, and I have the Steam one. I have been playing the Steam one because it's newer hardware, and I don't have to use that emulator to run a Japanese disc on my American.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's the point of the game. Of playing
Is there any difference between the PC edition and the Dreamcast edition of the Ikaruga?
Yes, it has a lot of features. First of all, the first big difference is that the PC one is an HD remastered version, which the Dreamcast isn't. The Dreamcast just runs on it's 640p, I think. And the other modes are like the gameplay is basically the same, and actually you can rotate the screen, like having it like flip to the left, and the other one that's the traditional screen mode. But the PC version also has like online modes, and to be actually playing with another one that's also online. and the achievements is also a difference in it. But the big difference is that it's an HD remastered version, so you can run it on 1080p instead of the 640 Dreamcast version.
And Patrick, have you been up to playing much, or is it just Elysian Shadows you've been playing?
I've been playing a couple of games, namely Legends of Grimrock. Do you know the game? It's
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's like one of the games that really surprised me even at the install phase, because it was like 200 something megabytes. And in this day and age, you don't even have games under gigabytes, so that was shocking.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting dungeon crawler. Like, it's very old school, very old school. You just move you're literally moving on the grid, so you move by a grid in a dungeon, and you have your 4 players, 4 party members, and you're moving all 4 together in a square, and you fight. It's fairly basic, but it's very, very old school. One of the really cool things about it that you don't really get to see nowadays in games is that the fighting is not really the focus of the game. It's more about the dungeon puzzles, looking for hidden buttons, and because it's in the first person, so you try to inspect the walls looking for a hidden button. Maybe you have to carry the torch, and the torches actually burn out limited resources, stuff like that. You need to eat, so you need to scavenge for food, and they make really cool puzzles that they get me really inspired for Elysian Shadows. There was one really interesting puzzle with when you had to notice where the air is blowing. So when you were holding the torch would suddenly swivel because of the air currents.
Oh, cool!
And that would be a solution to the puzzle, which is really, really cool. And the other one, the Hearthstone, they released next Armas, and that ate 4 hours of mine, I think. Because even though I'm not really good with card games, I'm really good with puzzle solving, so it was really easy. 4 hours, and I beat all the expansion. I mean, the first wing. So it's that was cool.
Cool.
But there's not really much of the playing. Mostly drawing and pixel art, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the Kickstarter.
Why play games when you're making games? That's really...
Yeah, it's important to take breaks, because it's so easy to just close yourself into this pigeonhole in this, doing one thing and one thing only. But for game developers, for concept artists, for any sort of creative work, it's very important to expose yourself to as much media and stimuli as possible, because in the end you cannot think about something which you did not experience first. All of your creations are derivatives of what you seen or experienced. Everything is a remix of a remix of a remix. So if you don't play enough games, if you don't watch enough movies, if you don't read books, you will not be able to make a really good game, because you just lack the inspiration, the influence.
Awesome.
And then in the end, one of the worst things that you can have is not read, not play, and stuff like that, and then get stuck in game development on something and waste 2 years only to notice that someone else make exactly the same thing, and that you could just learn from them.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Cool. And just to round off, I guess, I've been playing. I managed to get a bit of game time in Destiny, the beta of Destiny, which is actually really awesome.
I got the invitation. What's that about?
Destiny?
Yeah,
I got the email.
I mean, I heard, but I just I even signed for the beta, and I got the invitation, but I just it doesn't surface in my mind. So please help.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, it's from the team. It's from Bungie, the team that made Halo, obviously. But it's how can I describe? It's a first-person shooter, but it's like an online multiplayer. It's almost like an MMO first-person shooter, if that makes sense. So you got hundreds of people online at once. You can team up with people to do these missions if you want to, or you can go about and finish the storyline on your own, as it were. So it's almost like a big world, and the way they've sold it though is the world is always changing or expanding, and and I think they've got like a 10-year plan for the game. So it's out on Xbox 360, PS3, Xbox One, and PS4. It's coming out later this year, and they've just got the beta going at the moment. So they're testing out the servers and things, but it seems like a really good idea. It's almost like the next step in first-person shooters, because it's not just having death matches or basic co-op gameplay. It's like a world that you get to go and explore, and you get it's different worlds actually, because you can get in a ship and you can fly to new worlds and stuff. It's just pretty cool.
The combat, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the combat seems to have a little bit like a Borderlands-y feel to it. Am I right?
I guess a tiny bit, yeah, in a way, because you level up a bit like in Borderlands stuff. You get XP and stuff. It's
and the way the damage works.
Yeah, I guess the way the damage works and stuff. Yeah, because it does feel very much like a cross between Borderlands and Halo. You can still feel like a Halo influence behind it.
Yeah, the art style is definitely Halo.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's I'm a big Halo fan, and I was playing the game the other day, and I was just like, I'm actually really enjoying this. I'd like to see what the finished game is like, because so far I've only been playing solo. Couldn't really be bothered to team up with anybody, so I was just having like solo gameplay. And on my own, I was really enjoying it. So I can't wait to actually have my friends get the game as well, and then all play together. That'd be amazing, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm just sharing like from the Destiny's website the footage, so the other people can take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's like when you mentioned the idea of expanding the world that the game is in. Oh, and that's just a look. Well, that's not out of footage. Lies. But yeah, like that reminds me of the game Firefall, I believe. They had like there was a shooter, Firefall, and it had exactly the same premise of like the expanding world and stuff like that.
Okay.
I wonder what happened with that. But yeah, definitely a game to look to pay attention to. Might be really interesting.
Yeah,
Not for the Dreamcast.
No, not on the Dreamcast though, damn it. Yeah, so there's only really one game we've got to look forward to, and that's Elysian Shadows, I think. Yeah, definitely. Cool. I think that actually really does it for the show, actually. It's probably gone on longer than we
have
thought.
a couple of...
sorry, Copcake.
Nah, don't worry about it. Well, we have a Ducks game contest, so be sure to participate. We have it on our Facebook page, so be sure to log on to facebook.com/SEGA so you can win a copy of Ducks. I think it's a special edition, but don't take me too seriously on that one. But the point is that we're giving away one. And the other thing is that we have another Ages of Sega episode on our site, so be sure to watch it. And it's in our YouTube account, which is the one you're watching the stream right now. And don't forget, we also have another contest, which is the Toe Jam Nerd contest. You can win a copy of the game signed by the Toe Jam Nerd creator, which is Greg Johnson, which also had a retrospective that you can watch also at Sega Nerd's YouTube channel. Be sure to watch it. It's very interesting. And we also have a pilot episode made by our friend Andrew, who's a collaborator on Sega Nerds, which is Willy's World. And be sure to watch it. It's kind of a comedy series, and it talks about games too. And another thing is, a parting shot of mine is that Lee, which is also an editor here at Sega Nerds, which also makes some really neat retrospectives. Be sure to read the ones he made on Monster World. Has another site which is called Lupin Central, which is a site dedicated to Lupin the Third. So be sure to log to lupincentral.com, which the site is going to be having a redesign, which will be launching on August 1st, and which also I did the redesign of it. I also redesigned the logo, and Lee is pretty excited about the launch, so be sure to log on to that site too. And that's pretty. We also made merch for that, so be sure to check that out too. And our friends, the Blast Processors, launched their new album recently, so be sure to hear the songs, and if you like the album, buy it. It's in their Bandcamp. Their Twitter account is at Blast Processors, and you can hear what the new album is about. And that's pretty much it.
It's a really good album, by the way, so I reckon anyone who's a big fan of Sega should definitely listen to it. It's really, really good.
It's
Yeah.
like alt rock with progressive rock, so it's really nice. So enjoy it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that does it really. Patrick, are there any parting thoughts from the Elysian Shadows team? Do you reckon, or?
No, nothing. Follow us on Twitter, YouTubes, and stuff like that.
Cool.
Because it's fun and we're cool.
Have you got the it's at Elysian_Shadows, isn't it, on Twitter? I believe.
I think, yeah. I mean, if you're just gonna Google Elysian Shadows, you're gonna have everything.
Yeah. If you just go to the
Unified
website.
branding, yeah.
But that's awesome. Cool. Anything more to add, Copk, or is that done? Are we done now?
No, we're done.
Excellent. Good. There we go. Yeah, be sure to follow us on at Sega Nerds. At Sega Nerds on Twitter and Facebook /The Sega Nerds, and visit our website seganerds.com. And I think that's it. Hopefully, Chris will be back next week because he's way better at this than I am. Thanks.
Fine.
Thanks. Thanks, Copk. Thanks, Patrick, and thanks for the rest of the Elysian Shadows team. And thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.
Yep. Bye.
Catch you later.